following is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee. Welcome into a Thursday edition of Main Street Sports. Today on the program, this Thursday, we've got our player and team of the week, so stay tuned for that. Also, we'll be joined in the Coach's Corner by Columbia Central boys basketball coach Nick Campbell, so stay in by for that. Also, in our second half, an update on the Preds with the voice of the Preds. Pete Weber will join us. So much more. Stay with us here now to their humble abodes. It is the Hall of Famer and Sports Writer of the Year, Mo Patton. Here's the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Chris Yao.
Welcome into this Thursday edition. Should be a lot of fun. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. You're going to want to stick around in this show. And the reason is because I don't know what's going to happen. At any point during this show, I could have to run out of here and deal with Charlie, who I'm home with today, or
Baby watch.
I might just fall asleep. We were in the ER at 1:30 this morning, so it's been a whale of a day. So yeah. Should be a fun show. Y'all stick around all day long. Mo, what's going on? How are you feeling today?
I'm better than you.
That's a low bar.
Yeah. Just getting ready once the show gets over with to head over to the Ag Expo here in Franklin for the state wrestling tournament that starts today in about an hour. So
that should be fun.
In addition to whatever else is on the rundown, because we forgot to add that. But Division I, Class A, Class AA, and girls will be in action today, starting at 3. So there's that.
Good luck to all of the Division I wrestlers who will be taking part in those individual state tournaments. It's going to be a lot of fun. We'll be there tomorrow afternoon at 2:00 live on location. So make sure to stop by if you are at the Ag Expo.
Unless Chris is up all night again tonight.
No. So it
turns
out we sent a text message to the daycare and said, hey, Charlie's, she threw up all night, so she's not going to make it. And the daycare said, well, she's the third one. So apparently there's a stomach bug at daycare that everybody's kind of getting out of their system. So
that's the beauty of daycare.
Well, yes. Let me bring home all of the communicable diseases I've procured at daycare, Mom.
And give them to you.
Yep. Well, that didn't take long. Charlie is asleep. So yeah, as soon as we get out of this break, I guess I'll go put her in the crib.
Small victories.
Small victories. All right, let's get into it. We've got a great show, as JP told you, so I'm looking forward to it. We've got a lot to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into yesterday's results and today's schedule on the rundown.
Here's the rundown.
College basketball results from Wednesday night in ASUN action. It was Bellarmine with a 76-73 win over Lipscomb. NCAA baseball, midweek style, Belmont with a big 11-1 win over the Blue Raiders of Middle Tennessee State. Tennessee with a big 16-1 win over North Carolina Asheville. And Vanderbilt with a big 9-0 victory over the Aces of Evansville. In Thursday basketball action, all of these are doubleheaders. All can be seen on ESPN+. Belmont is at Murray State beginning at 5 o'clock. That'll be the women first. Also women first, Tennessee State in Cookeville against Tennessee Tech. That's a 5:30 start. Austin P is at Southern Illinois Edwardsville. That's also at 5:30. And again at 5:30, Lipscomb women at Bellarmine. I figure this one is not a doubleheader because the men played last night. That's a women's only game at 5:30. Again, all of those can be seen on ESPN+. In men's action over at the Glass House, MTSU trying to stay undefeated at home. They catch Marshall in Conference USA play. That's a 6 o'clock start. That's also on ESPN Plus. And NCAA women's basketball action tonight. MTSU is at Marshall, 5 o'clock, ESPN Plus. Number 16, Tennessee takes on visiting Mississippi State at Thompson Bowling Arena. That's a 5:30 tip-off on SEC Network Plus. And again, on ESPN Plus, number 15, Florida at Memorial Gymnasium against the Vanderbilt Commodore women. NCAA softball action today. Tennessee is playing in a classic somewhere. They're playing BYU at 3 and Cal Davis at 5:30. No television options that we're aware of on that one, but that's it for today's rundown. Back to you, Chris.
So I was wrong. She is definitely
She is not asleep. False alarm.
Oops. And this is my fault because I wasn't even paying attention. That there's a Preds play tonight. They host Dallas, 7:30. So anyway, also the Grizzlies are at Minnesota. But yeah, the rundown was a little.
So
bit
JP, would you ask if the rundown was done? No, it was not.
It wasn't. But again,
there's a lot to compile. There's a lot going on. You're pulling from a bunch of different areas.
Yeah. And it certainly doesn't help when I'm trying to feed Charlie and do everything else that goes on top of that when she's here. So, yeah, not easy to do, but that's okay.
The kid, Mo, what's that all about?
What's that?
He's blaming the kid.
I got nothing, man. I got nothing.
Mo's like, yeah, they require a lot of work sometimes, especially at that age.
Yeah. So,
speaking of baseball, though, we don't have any today because both of those were both Belmont and I guess I don't know if Vanderbilt was scheduled to play today or not. They probably weren't. I mean, I don't know why you would have a 3-game set that would start on a Thursday and end on a Sunday with the off day being Friday. That doesn't make much sense. So I'm assuming the NCAA baseball was wrong, but Belmont was scheduled to play today. That game has been postponed or canceled, one of the two. I know they're playing tomorrow, but Dave Jarvis won't have to worry about that to get his 1,000th win because he got it yesterday.
Yeah, unfortunately against MTSU, but yeah, congratulations to Dave Jarvis. In his 25th year at Belmont, last night's win was his 676th victory after 8 years at Three Rivers Community College over in Missouri. So 33 years the guy's been at it, man. And so last year he surpassed legendary Belmont coach Dave Whitten as the winningest coach in Belmont history. Coach Whitten had 663 victories at Belmont. So Jarvis is the winningest coach at Belmont and has 1,000 in his career. By the way, his son Jackson playing over at Columbia State, and they get back on the field this weekend, I believe, after their trip last week down to Chipola where they dropped 3 or 4. So they'll be back at it. But yeah, congrats to Coach Jarvis. Good dude, man.
I did not check on Columbia State. Excuse me. After the first game, because they won the first game.
Well, they lost the next 3,
and then apparently lost the next 3. So
but it is Chipola, man, and as Coach Korn was saying when we had him on last week, they're pretty solid. So
yeah, they're top 10, top 15 team perennially.
Uh-huh.
So very, very good. Hey, before we get to break, we got a couple of minutes here. I wanted to mention this because you and I have a semi, not quasi, semi connection to this. Kylie McDaniels of ESPN.com put out the 2022 MLB draft rankings, and guess who's atop the list?
Atop the list?
Yeah.
Not our guy down at not our guy from Loretto.
No.
Oh, okay. Who?
Drew Jones, who we saw down in Mobile.
Oh, okay.
So
So he may
Andrew's
not get to
son,
Vanderbilt, huh?
he may not. Yeah, he is looking like he could be the number 1 overall pick.
Well,
So
that'll be interesting. Yeah. Okay.
anyway,
That's interesting. Who else is on that list?
who
I'm not
else is
seeing
on
it.
that list?
Anybody of note?
Tamar Johnson.
We saw him down there as well, I do
I
believe.
believe we did. And no, it looks like Brandon Barrera out of American Heritage, Florida, is also a Vanderbilt commit. Cam Collier, third baseman out of Chipola, is the 16th.
There you go.
So
Speaking of, yeah. Okay.
that'll do it for you right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting. Anyway, thought that was unique and fun. So
Sure.
let's come back and talk to Columbia Central boys coach Nick Campbell on Coach's Corner and hand out some hardware.
Not necessarily in that order.
Yeah, there you go. Main Street Sports Today returns right after this. Y'all stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. We have a special guest here on the show. She wasn't going to go to sleep and she wasn't going to stop crying. So I figure we've done a show with her on it before, and she figures since I can eat the microphone, how come she can't, right?
Makes sense.
There you go.
She probably knew who our next guest was, and so she figured we were going to need all the help we could get with that one. So makes perfectly good sense. Hey, before we get into our next guest or into our hardware, I want to mention we saw this on Twitter during yesterday's show, I think, and didn't really get to mention it, but I think it's fantastic what Greg Wyant, the athletics director over at Siegel High School, is doing and encouraging other football programs across the state to get behind. At Coach_Wyant on Twitter says, we need officials in our state. At Ruco schools, football programs are willing to pay for your officiating gear and registration fees. if you are a college student or are interested in officiating, please DM me and we will get you started. Rutherford County Football Coaches Scholarship. They'll pay you registration fees and uniform costs. That is supposed to be a $350 value right there. So for anyone who has complained about football officiating at the high school level recently, here's your opportunity to do it, and do it fee-free, basically. So
Free.
yeah. Or seriously, if you have had any inclination that might be something you'd want to do, here's an opportunity.
Well, I mean, Mo, we've done our share of second guessing officials on this show, but we've also put on the stripes ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't necessarily say that, I'm not saying that you got to do it to have an opinion.
No,
that's not necessarily the case all the time. But I do think that if you do it, you can have a better perspective, or at least a different perspective. And I think that makes all the difference in the world. I've yet to ever, if someone in the crowd, maybe at a youth game or something, says, "Dad, you don't need to talk. Sorry." Maybe they're yelling a little bit, and I say, "Well, we could use the help, and I've got an extra whistle." They've yet to take me up on that offer. But now's your chance.
Nobody has come down out of the stands on that one, huh?
Not once. Not one.
Amazingly enough, yeah.
It's a lot easier to see up there. I could just give them the whistle up there, I guess, and they could make the calls.
Or you could go sit up there with them. Yeah, maybe you can see better from up there. Yeah,
perhaps that may be the plan. But yeah, this is a great idea, and well done to Rutherford County coaches for making this a priority, because it is in fact a very very big need. Obviously, as you see we have a commercial every day that runs before halftime about it. So
as we've discussed, the TSSAA came to a decision a couple of weeks ago. Every high school football team will be required, I guess, to play at least one Thursday night game to try to relieve some of the officiating shortage starting this fall. So
yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So. Getting back on track, as you said before the break, we've got some hardware to hand out. So
yeah,
we should probably do that.
We should. The End to Win Life Team of the Week, presented by our friends at Custom Stone Handlers.
Santa Fe boys, as Chris reported about a week ago, went down, or they took on Culleoka in the District 10 1A tournament semifinals, and got a pretty significant victory for them, because it didn't just put them in the championship game, but it kind of propelled them to a level they had not been at in some time.
Yeah, they got over that Culleoka curse.
Is that the curse of the Warriors or the curse of the Blue Devils? Which one was that?
I don't know. Good question. Anyway, MTBJ Player of the Week, Grayson Burleson out of Summertown, 43 points, 6 threes, and an 86-52 win over Lewis County last Friday. Grayson has been playing great all year long, and certainly deserving of this accolade. So there you go.
There's the hardware.
Let's bring in our Coach's Corner guest, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. From the Heart, a fantastic little cafe out in Chapel Hill. Renee Hart and fine folks over there keeping you fed and happy. Joining us now is Columbia Central boys basketball coach Nick Campbell. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely, guys. Thanks for having me. It is a great idea by Rutherford County Schools to help with the officiating calls and get people in there. Coming from a guy that's never said anything to it.
Never. And for those of you who are watching us, it's District 12-4A Coach of the Year, Nick Campbell, joining us here on Coach's Corner. Coach, congrats.
Appreciate that, guys. Our team has played really well. and we're starting to get, some other awards because of that. It's nothing really that I've done. I just got a great team and a great group of guys, so I've reaped the benefits of that award. But it should be a team award instead of a coach's award.
You guys followed up the District 12-4A regular season championship with a tournament title, defeating Ravenwood last Saturday, 56-54 in the finals. You played this Saturday in the opening round of the region tournament. Are you concerned about a full 8-day competitive layoff there?
Well, we were talking about it today. The good thing about that is it gave us some time to get our legs back, and Brentwood has the same layoff as we do. So it's not like we played on Saturday and the team that we're going to play Tuesday. So, we're both at the same advantage / disadvantage, whatever you want to call it. But also, talked with our guys today about our year has been nothing but normal. So 8 days off with some of the things that we've gone through. It's really not that big of a deal to us. So that's how we're looking at things. We're going to continue to get better each and every day, and not worry about things that we can't control. So off of that, we got some great news about Omari today. He doesn't have to have another surgery. He got his trait completely removed today. So he is one happy guy today, as far as the rest of us are as well.
Man, there we go. That's great. That's great news, man. Do you see a scenario where he gets in for you guys between now and whenever?
I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to talk to him, see what the doctor said. I think he is released to, start doing some more physical activities. But just his presence alone, being back at practice, in games have kind of propelled us a little bit emotionally to the end of the season, like we played pretty well. So I'm not going to rule it out. If there's any kid that could make this comeback, it would be him, and that would put I guess per se the icing on the cake for him. So.
Coach, speaking of emotion, the district tournament had quite a bit of it. Obviously had a couple of tight ball games, and sometimes those type games can spill over, or you can second guess yourself as a player, as a coach. How do you look ahead and say, all of that's behind us, we just have to look and play the team that's in front of us, and not worry about what we did right or didn't do right in those games, especially if you're having to play, you're going to end up playing some of the same teams potentially in this region tournament.
Yeah. We've got to get past the good Brentwood team at first, but every game that we played, that's been close or hadn't been close. We've taken something from that. The Summit game was a low scoring game. There's some things that happened in that game that, kind of tested us a little bit in our character, very slow, limited pace. And then, we go to the Ravenwood game, and it's a 2-point game. We were actually down by 10 in the first quarter, into the second quarter, into the start of the second quarter. So, a lot of things that we faced in the district tournament will definitely carry over into the region tournament. But, with the leadership that we have on our team, once we got to practice on Tuesday, we were all right, we got Brentwood. When you have Q Martin and Bubba Perkins and AJ Pillow, Ronnie Bailey, those guys, like, all right, that's over with. We got something else to play for. We've got to reset, get going, stay sharp, and be ready to go on Saturday. One thing that's kind of helped us is, Brentwood's a totally different team than Ravenwood. So having 3 or 4 days here to prepare for them and work on our stuff, it's kind of helped us, restart per se. It's been a good break, but it felt like we haven't played in 2 weeks as opposed to, it'll be 7 days. So we're ready to play. I wish we didn't have to practice again tomorrow. We could just go play tomorrow.
Yeah, I would imagine, and we're speaking with Columbia Central boys basketball coach Nick Campbell here on Coach's Corner, presented by From the Heart Cafe over in Chapel Hill. Nick, I would imagine preparing for that Brentwood team has been a little different with the late news that they'll be without Jake Brock as well.
Yeah, hate that for the Brock kid. I think he tore his meniscus last Tuesday or sometime last week. You know, he's a very good player. So he just committed to go play somewhere, play football at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at this point in time, you don't want anybody to get injured, especially a senior. You want them to be able to play. So we're really not sure exactly how they'll play. I think they've only played 2 games without him. You know, so I'm sure they'll have some different things in for us on Saturday that they didn't have time to work on before their district tournament. But you know, one thing that we've tried to do all year is, you know, we're not trying to disrespect our opponent, but we're trying to do the things that we do well. You know, we don't really change a ton defensively. We put some things in defensively that will, you know, carry over from team to team. We just got to make sure that we stay sharp and we do the things that we can control. You know, we feel like we can play at any pace this year, and you know, we can score in the 80s and the 90s, or we can win games in the 40s. So that's one thing that with this senior class, they figured out, hey, we don't necessarily have to score 80 every game to win. You know, if we win in the 40s, that's just as good as winning in the 80s. So that's, our team has really grown a lot since last year. You know, we had a lot of adversity last year in the tournament. You know, lost 2 games, probably shouldn't have, but I think that has prepared us for this year and this year's tournament run.
Should be a lot of fun. It's I'm not going to, I mean, obviously we don't want to speculate too far, but Independence looms in the second round if you guys were to both win on Saturday. So that's another tough opponent that you at this point, you got to beat everybody's good, and you got to beat really good teams, and a third time against Independence is going to be tough, I'm sure. So I'm looking forward to this particular region. It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, you got Franklin on the other side as well, and Ravenwood on the other side. Centennial beat Ravenwood last Tuesday. So, you know, anything can happen in the tournament, like you know, but especially when you have a region and teams that are as good as what are in our region right now.
Coach's Corner here. Nick Campbell, the Columbia Central boys basketball coach and District 12 4A Coach of the Year. Coach, we appreciate it, and good luck this weekend and next week. Hopefully, we'll be looking forward to seeing you on the sideline.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
No doubt. Coach's Corner presented by From the Heart Cafe out in Chapel Hill. That is one of our favorite places to frequent when we are in the mood for a great burger, sandwich, or dessert specifically. Go see Renee Hart and the gang. They always do a fine job. Fantastic. Just before you get to Henry Horton, right there on the right. So go see them. Mo, when we come back, big story. And I don't even know where to start. So
yeah. It's odd, to say the least.
We will get to one of the biggest stories in college football today on the other side of the break. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today. We'll be back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. I don't know if you guys saw that my wife spent $77.92 at Chick-fil-A this morning. I don't even know how you do that. No, I'm kidding. She had to get breakfast for Barry's, her boss's ribbon cutting today at her office. So Crest Point Wealth Management down on the square in Columbia with their new building had a ribbon cutting. But I thought it was funny when she told me, she was like, I spent $77 at Chick-fil-A. And I'm like, oh, I'm definitely going to roast you on Twitter for this.
Well, I mean, depending on the size of the group, she might have got off light.
Yeah, they finished them off. But there were also sausage balls and some quiche. So there were options, but of course, when Chick-fil-A minis are in the building, that's always option number one
and two.
So I ate like 5 sausage balls. Those sausage balls were good. Anyway, let's talk about the big story in college football today, but not at the FBS level. We'll move to the FCS level. And brand new head coach at Grambling, Hugh Jackson, he's made a splash. I don't know if it's a good splash or a bad one, but it's a splash.
Well, it wasn't enough that Hugh Jackson jumped on the Brian Flores bandwagon and said that he had also been asked to throw games in Cleveland, and then said, oh, never mind. No, I wasn't.
Just kidding.
Yeah. But now it appears that Hugh Jackson is named as his offensive coordinator, Art Briles. And if that name's not familiar to you, it's because he hasn't coached collegiately in about 5 years.
And the reason he hasn't coached collegiately in 5 years is pretty bad.
It's about as bad as it gets. I mean, speaking of train wrecks, the Baylor situation. I mean, just Google Art Briles if you don't know who we're talking about. Surely you do. If you're listening to us, I got a pretty good idea you do.
You probably should. Briles, one of the best offensive minds in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a pretty rough stigma here around him. And then on top of that, it's like a lot of folks have been talking about for the last, 3-4 weeks with Brian Flores. It's just another opportunity for a black coordinator at a historically black college and university that doesn't get the job. Now, if you take away everything that happened at Baylor, this is probably a home run hire.
Oh,
but
well, if you take away everything that happened at Baylor,
he's not
this
available.
hire doesn't take place.
He's not available. Exactly.
Yeah, right.
So you have to take that into consideration. And I don't know why you give this guy a shot over anybody
Any
else.
number of guys.
I mean, Mo, you would probably have been a better option. At least,
I wouldn't
PR
go that
wise.
far. I wouldn't go that far, but we certainly know people that would have been less incendiary. You and I do, literally.
Oh, absolutely. So there's a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense about this, but I guess if you can handle the backlash, if you can handle the press conference, then go win ball games. Again, what do we say all the time, Mo?
You can lose games.
Well, you can win. Winning cures a lot of ailments.
That too. Here's the thing. I don't know if you can win the press conference with this.
There's no. I didn't say win. I said withstand.
Oh, well, I don't know that you can withstand it.
Well, unless he gets fired, I guess he will have. I don't know. He may. I don't.
What is so important about Art Briles that with his background, with his baggage, he's the guy you've got to have?
How do you send him into a home to recruit? Maybe you don't. Maybe you just play the tapes. Watch the film. And Hughes says, look, it's an opportunity to play in a dynamic offense that could get you seen. And at the FCS level, it's almost, that's kind of the biggest point.
I guess. I think it's irresponsible on the part of a school administration to bring him on board.
Oh, I don't disagree with you. My point to this is I absolutely see the upside reasoning. I just don't think it was worth what it meant to hire him.
Well, and what it says.
We don't care if you have sexual assault baggage, which Art Briles was most certainly a major part of at Baylor during his tenure.
And that was what he said. Basically, I don't care. I don't care what you're doing as long as we're winning ball games. That's what he said. That's what the Baylor administration said. And it sounds like
that's what Grambling's saying. There you go. That's if you can withstand the press, then you're probably going to win ball games. But was it worth it?
Yep.
That is the question. And I just don't know that it is. Since his time at Baylor, he has worked, I guess he worked with Hugh Jackson in Cleveland. That's where this connection comes in.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then he was hired by the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the CFL for about 24 hours.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it was like 12 hours.
Yeah.
It was one of those Greg Schiano type situations where the rumors started and then boom, just kidding.
Yeah. It was like they announced it at 8 a.m. and by 5 the same day he was gone. It's like, don't unpack those boxes, bro.
Yeah, no. And then has coached at the high school level in Texas for the last 2 years. So,
which is kind of crazy.
I do think that there should be to forgiveness. I think there should be a road to second chances. I just don't know.
Doesn't that road include some type of mea culpa?
Well,
on his part,
this is kind of my thought is at some point on that road, you have to make amends, not to go 12 steps out of this, but you have to admit that you have done it, attempt to show that you are remorseful for the entire situation, and then somehow try to make amends, whatever that may be. And then we can start on a path to a new beginning or a second chance.
And I don't know that any of that has taken place.
The fact that Nick Saban did not bring him into his rehab program with all of the baggage that comes with that rehab program just goes to show that it's pretty rough. So I'm not going to say it's not going to work out. What I'm going to say is that it's going to be
it's not going to be pretty.
It's not going to be pretty on the way there. You may end up with something that works, but it's probably going to leave a lot of mud behind you.
Mud's a good word.
So,
especially with the weather we're having.
There's a ton of weather. Yeah. Got an email that Spring Hill is prepping for heavy floods down here in southern Middle Tennessee. So hopefully the Harpeth and Duck Rivers will stay to themselves in Spring Hill. They did not in Columbia. Riverside Park was pretty rough this morning. So anyway, let's take a break. It's halftime. So I got a really interesting story here.
More interesting than Chick-fil-A?
This is way more interesting than that. But yeah, so come back with us. This is going to be a great halftime on Main Street Sports Today. Stick around.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck, yes. That'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
When this came about, when I was actually reading this last night, at the first moment in which we had an incident with Charlie, I was in the middle of reading it to Sarah, and she jumps out of bed, runs into Charlie's room, and deal with that for the next 3 hours, give or take. And so when we finally got her back to sleep, I said, well, as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, and then continued to talk about this. But in Virginia, not in Alabama, in Virginia, there are 2 babies who are going viral because they are twin brothers, except they're actually cousins. Their DNA is identical, and they will be identical twins, but they are not brothers. They are cousins because their parents are twin brothers and twin sisters.
Okay.
JP's mouth just like he had to be off the floor.
All right, so twins married each other's twin.
Right.
That's correct.
No, not each other's twin. No. 2 twin brothers.
Yep.
Correct.
Married 2 twin sisters.
That's correct.
Yeah. But they're the sisters. Okay.
Are sisters, and the brothers are brother. The boys are brothers. The females are.
So it's like a double brother-in-law, sister-in-law.
It's exact. So here's the thing: is because identical twins have the same DNA. I learned this on one of those true crime shows where they arrested a guy and his twin brother actually did it because his DNA was at the scene. And so I guess I hope you got a good relationship with your twin brother, so he'll If you get arrested, he'll come forward. But anyway, the identical twin sisters have identical DNA, which means that both of their kids have identical DNA. So therefore,
they have DNA as if they were brothers, even though they're
as if they were identical twin brothers. They will grow up looking identical.
Okay,
this is insane.
How far apart were they born?
They are pretty close in age. They all live together, by the way.
Well, of course.
Their parents met in 2017 at a festival for twins. They got married a year later, and now they all live together in the same house.
Okay.
So let's see how much more difficult we can make it, basically.
Oh, they're going to play some tricks on their friends. And
there's no question.
Oh, good Lord. I don't know. All living in the same house?
There's no way.
Might have a hard time determining who's who.
Who's who?
Even inside the house. That could be dangerous.
Yeah. Got to be careful is all I'm saying.
Be careful. Know your birthmarks.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
So anyway,
hopefully if they wind up playing football, they'll wear different colored mouthpieces, Chris.
That would help. That will help identify them. No question. All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about more Monday Night Football. We talked about it yesterday. We'll talk about it more. Pete Weber in the second half as well. And Major League Baseball logos. What was the best era? We'll tell you what we think. Coming up. Stick around.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Tennessee. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the TSSAA.
It's the second half of Main Street Sports today. Coming up, we'll be joined by the voice of the Predators, Pete Weber, talking about the hockey team in honky tonk. Also, perhaps a little shakeup in NFL broadcasting booths. That discussion, plus little throwback Thursday, 1980s MLB logos. A little discussion there. Let's get back to the Hall of Famer Mo Patton and the Sundrop Kid from Alabama, Horatio.
Welcome back in. It is a throwback Thursday. There you go. I like that. As we'll get into some logos later. I'm excited about it because this is a good one. This is going to be fun. But scrolling through Twitter, as we are wont to do here on the show, I came across that, not the Super 70 Sports, but whatever it was. That's when I came across the 1980s logos, and I thought, man, these are cool. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. But before we do that, yesterday we told you that the Monday Night Football quasi doubleheader is coming back. And I guess perhaps one of the broadcasters on one of those games will potentially be Fox's Troy Aikman, who would be leaving Joe Buck and headed.
Fox's Joe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he would be leaving Joe Buck in the booth and heading over to potentially ABC, ESPN for Monday Night Football. And honestly, I like Aikman. I think he's good. I think he was better before Tony Romo showed him up, and then he tried to start being Tony Romo. But I do think Aikman is a good analyst, and I think he would be a good addition to Monday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think I could listen to Troy Aikman a lot more easily if he were paired with someone other than who he's paired with.
Come on.
Yeah. So I mean that should make him an easier listen, whoever he's with on Monday Night Football, I think. Unless his play-by-play guys come in as well.
I don't think that's coming. I don't think that's going to be the I don't see that being what happens. Who is the play-by-play guy right now? Is it Tirico?
No, for Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is Steve Levy.
That's right.
Okay. You tell I don't watch a whole lot of Monday Night Football.
Yeah. Odds are probably if Aikman does show up to Monday Night Football that there could be another play-by-play. Al Michaels, his contract was up at Sunday Night Football. Now, there have been some talk about with NBC. There have been some talk about Amazon Prime going after Michaels for that exclusive Thursday night. Also, Aikman was in the mix for that. Of course, this story now leading towards ESPN. So potentially Michaels could go to ESPN with Aikman. That could be one possibility. Chris Fowler is there. He and Kirk Herbstreit have done a couple of NFL games.
Didn't like that.
I didn't either. And Fowler is very good, very solid at a lot of different things. But he's never been one of my favorite play-by-play guys. But he's very good, and he can do.
I don't not like Fowler. Though.
Yeah.
I
don't love him.
Just didn't really care for him on NFL, and maybe it was just not being used to him in that.
Could be.
Realm.
And I think a lot like Joe Tessitore, to me, they're so ingrained in the college atmosphere, in the college game, that it's a little odd to hear on the NFL just because the vibe of the broadcast is so different, and we're so accustomed to that. It'd be like Keith Jackson doing NFL games, which I know he did, but you think of him as a college play-by-play guy, right?
Yeah, I mean, if John Madden and Pat Summerall did college, it'd be weird.
It'd be odd. Yeah,
it would just sound awkward. Yes. Not that you wouldn't enjoy it because they're great. It's just different. I mean, it would be like the CBS 2:30 game having Dave Neal. Sorry. not that Dave's not great. I'm just saying it would sound weird.
You know what, though? I think that there are some people that would probably be in favor of that.
I would much rather have the Daves than Danielson.
Yeah, so there you go.
The Daves are other. I mean, I don't hate Nestler, but I certainly don't like Danielson. He's rough, but it doesn't matter anymore because we don't have to deal with it because that contract is over, and thank God. Who should Fox go after? I have a name that I would throw out there, but I want to hear you guys take on this. Who should pair up with? They're probably going to promote from within, I assume, with Greg Olson, but Lord, let's hope not. But if they could go get somebody, who should they go get?
For a color analyst?
Yes.
I think any promotion Charles Davis could get would be a great one.
I agree, but I think his talent and what he does is worthy of that spot. I don't know if he's in that high enough in the pecking order yet for that. But also keep in mind that former Saints head coach is
Sean Payton.
Sean Payton could be a potential option, a network that wants to make a splash with a no name, following in the footsteps of, everybody's trying to follow Romo and find that flashy. Although I do think Sean Payton would be good in that booth with Buck. But Olsen certainly is one of the guys that people are talking about for that. I don't know, Chris, who do you think?
I'm not a big fan of Olsen. I don't think he's very good, but that's just me. I think they should go get Jay Feely, if for no other reason to keep him off the Titans broadcast.
Oh, man.
I'm kidding. Seriously, though, I was like, no, I think Charles Davis is the best color analyst in the game who's not on an A team.
And I don't know why he's not on an A team. Maybe it's just the people in front of him. I don't know, because I don't pay enough attention to it. But I think he does a great job.
Yeah,
to me, he's phenomenal.
In the networks, I mean, who's been above him over the last few years? Tony Romo on one network, Troy Aikman on the other network.
Mm-hmm.
And, Aikman and Buck are, I think I read, the second longest NFL tandem behind Summerall and Madden.
Ever? I guess
so. Yeah,
certainly not current. Yeah,
I think so.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
did not know that.
Been together for a long time.
That it is interesting to me because one, I didn't watch the NFL before I moved here a lot, other than Thanksgiving and the playoffs. So I mean that would surprise me either way, but that's I mean, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth were together for a while.
Yeah, have been. Yep.
So them being number two would certainly be interesting to. Wow. Yeah. I just feel like this is probably a good move for Monday Night Football. They've been looking for someone that has that technical mind since Gruden left. But I just don't know that Romo or that Aikman has the personality that they're really looking for. For me, I feel like Monday Night Football is kind of like it's not necessarily a super serious broadcast all the time. Maybe they want it to be. I don't know.
No, it's been kind of more the flashy. It's the primetime element to it, and over the years, and you look at who's been there.
Sure.
Romo's style probably would fit better.
I thought that's what I was thinking.
Than an afternoon CBS game, but he and Nance certainly have made it work.
No question there. Goodness gracious. Let's talk to Pete Weber. We've got a lot to talk to him about. Stadium Series, Preds play tonight. Pekka's ceremony. Lots to get into. So the voice of the Predators joins us on the other side. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back to Main Street Sports today. We are really enjoying this Throwback Thursday as we throw it back to our humble abodes. JP throws it back to us. He's like, hey, man, y'all come back now. You hear? What a miserable week it has been. Miserable week it has been. The good thing is the weather is going to change. And next week it's going to be in the 70s and sunny one day. You'll get mid to high 60s. But Saturday, Mo, your favorite, colder than a well digger's behind. 49 degrees the high in Middle Tennessee. And that bodes well for an outdoor hockey game. Because it could be worse.
It could be. It could be 79 around here. You never know.
So yeah, this is great news if you are the Nashville Predators in the National Hockey League. Hopefully Lake Tahoe doesn't happen again. So to talk a little bit about that game and, of course, tonight's big ceremony with the GOAT. And Nashville Zoo named a goat Pekka, by the way. Did you see that?
That was Monday, guys. That was
phenomenal. We have Pete Weber joining us now, as you can see if you're watching. And Pete, welcome in. How's it going?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. I was surprised you didn't bring my name up as one of those Monday Night Football commentators. I thought I'd just throw my hat in the ring there.
Well,
I'm in.
We just figured that there would be a conflict with hockey.
But we play so few Monday nights. See, I could probably work that out.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get it started then. Pete on MNF. There we go.
There you go. Hashtag Pete on MNF.
Okay.
Yeah. Pete, tonight the Preds at Bridgestone Arena will be recognizing Pekka Rinne and raising his jersey to the rafters. But there was a big luncheon yesterday, I guess, that recognized him as well, and I'm sure you were quite involved in that.
Yeah, I emceed that yesterday at the Grand Hyatt downtown, and a full ballroom for Pekka. Pekka's family, his parents, his two sisters, one his twin, and his fiance and their son Paulus. They were all there, taking it all in, and Pekka had been told before the program began that he wouldn't have to speak. I only had to call him up to the podium 3 times during the course of the program. So he got more than a little bit surprised, but he did a great job.
So y'all set him up, basically?
I didn't. I'm gonna put somebody into the bus here right now. Rebecca Ward Rebecca Ward King is the one who said, "No, you don't have to speak. You'll be fine."
Better to be prepared in the event that Pete Weber is the MC, apparently.
That or my agenda called for me to call him up 3 times.
Oh, wow. That's even better.
Yes.
So let me ask you then, was this a left-hand, right-hand thing, or was this intentional?
I think it was a left-hand, right-hand thing. I don't think with any question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was not a conspiracy. No.
Okay. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm sure Pekka didn't try it though, you know.
He always has done everything else. I mean, here's a guy, his first ever game in the NHL against Chicago back in 2005, the first shot he faced in the league. And here's this kid who grew up in Finland, dreaming of coming over and to excel here. First shot he faced, shorthanded goal, beat him. Then he hangs in there and wins the game 5-3. So I think we've shown that quite resilient goaltender, to be certain.
I think the one thing that might surprise people if they don't follow a whole lot of hockey and then they see Pekka Rinne on the screen or whatever, particularly in a street clothes like last night.
Yes.
He's taller than you think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. At one point when we had Anders Lindbach as his backup, we had 13 feet of goaltender. Yeah, we had 6'5" and 6'7" to cover the net. Yeah, so that was and obviously they aren't going to be huge guy in terms of width.
Mm-hmm.
But when they go down on their side, they can certainly cover a lot of net. And that's for certain.
And good luck going top shelf, right?
Yeah, very good. If you can hit that one, you are truly a sniper.
Yeah. Wow. Pete Weber, the voice of the Nashville Predator, is with us here on Main Street Sports today. Obviously, a big night again, as Pecorine will be recognized prior to, during, all night. How does that work?
Well, we're asking everybody who's attending the game to be in their seats by 5:45. The program will start at 6, and not a 7 o'clock face-off tonight. It's going to be much closer to 7:30. So we're kind of following what the St. Louis Blues did a month or so ago when they retired Chris Pronger's number. I just don't think Pekka will chug a Bud Light on this podium like Pekka won't be doing that. Chris Pronger did do it, and I think that was part of a sponsor thing in St. Louis.
Tonight's a big night.
Yep.
Coming off of a big win against the Panthers, looking to keep it rolling tonight, but also the Stadium Series Saturday. And as Chris mentioned, it's supposed to be a high 49 for that, but you got the Lightning coming in, and this is a big deal, not just for the Preds, but I guess across the league.
Yes, it definitely is. I mean, they've already brought in the guys from the Hockey Hall of Fame came down for Pekka's luncheon yesterday, staying through the weekend with most of the league's trophies, including that big one that weighs about 34 pounds, the Stanley Cup, to be on scene for all of this. So they are putting full steam behind this. Commissioner Bill Daly, Assistant Commissioner Bill Daly is already in town. Gary Bettman will be here for things on Saturday. And as part of this Pekka and the Stadium Series game, the number of Preds alums who have come back to town. We had a little informal gathering last night, and Scotty Upshaw was there, Jordan Tutu was there, Steve Sullivan came back, Shea Weber got back. He didn't get back in time for the luncheon yesterday, thanks to some problem with the airport in Calgary making the connection to come through here. But it's a goodly number of the Preds alums, and there's quite a few that still live here as it is. So you can tell how much they have loved and appreciated Pekka over the years. And when Kimmo Timonen comes back, Kimmo, a fellow Finn. So when Pekka had that infection a few years ago after he had some hip surgery, and he was out for 50-plus games that season. So Kimmo's waiting out in the hallway. By that point, he had been retired, and he walks into the room and he comes back out. He said, "I want to talk to Pekka." And he comes out and he goes to me straight-faced. He says, "He'll never play again." Well, he only played about 7 years after that statement. So, but don't we have to trust someone who speaks the same language? I mean, Pekka speaks great English, but I mean, Finn on Finn, that's what I would have expected.
There you go. Loved it. You mentioned Jordan Tutu. Love that the NHL put out on social media a picture of Jordan Tutu at 2:22.
Yes,
2:22:22 Tuesday. That's pretty much for the win there in terms of social media.
Nothing better, right? And that's his birthday on top of it all.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
When else could he have been born, right?
I was
there
going
you
to
go.
say.
That's a good point. Now that you mention it, yeah.
Chris, whom do you have there?
I think we've got somebody that wants to ask a question.
Charlie here is making it a little bit. She's struggling because she's sleepy. So I've been having to play dad and radio show host the entire show. So it's okay though. We really enjoy Charlie here. So she does a good job for us. But I wanted to kind of switch gears a little bit and talk about Saturday because again, it's going to be great hockey weather. It will be better than the Winter Classic when I wore my sweatshirt and sweated the entire time out in Dallas.
Well, especially, did you go to the corn dog stands? I told it was highly seasoned, so they really could have made you sweat.
Oh, it was. all of the food there was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't think I had anything that wasn't good in Dallas, but there will be some good stuff on Saturday as well. But you get to the Lightning coming in here, and well, that's a tough opponent. I mean, you're talking about the defending Cup champs, so
2-time defending Cup champs. Yeah, they won the last 2 cups, one in the bubble in Edmonton, and then in more normal times. And I know we all use quotation marks around normal
right
now, winning it last year as well.
Well, what? Obviously, the Preds have a game tonight, so they're not looking to this specifically just yet. But what?
Well, Bill Belichick wouldn't. No.
Well, there you go. But what does this team have to do to upend the 2-time defending champs on the outdoor ice?
Stay in their zone as much as possible. Make them defend, because when they attack, this is kind of like what happened in South Florida the other night. If you can keep them back in their end, keep the game even for a good piece of time, and then make them defend in their end of the ice, that's where you can cause them problems. There's no guarantees, but it gives you a better chance.
And maybe stay out of the box.
They've been doing that better the last few games. Yeah, boy, there was a string there where they were, killing penalties more than 10 minutes. And when that's, 16, 17% of your total game time, that's a little bit daunting, to be certain.
Certainly can be. But I guess the positive is this team has been better on both the kill and the power play this year. Yeah. So that's
the other night, Tanner Jeannot scored the team's first shorthanded goal of the year. And that was a big part of that comeback in the third period.
That's one thing I was going to say is how important was it for this team to make that comeback after being on such a tough skid there, and then you get down 4-3, you thought you tied it up, then they wipe off the goal, and it was just like, oh no, here we go again, except this team kind of bowed up and said no.
And
we're
prior
not
to
going
that,
there again.
Prior to that, Chris, there was a goal of the Predators that was scored by the Panthers. The Predators thought should have been wiped out. It was not. And then they scored the goal that did get wiped out.
That was iffy at best.
You talk about bouncing back, and that they did. And in the context of playing a club that is the most dangerous offensively in the league right now, Florida Panthers, more dangerous than the Tampa Bay Lightning. I think that was huge for them. Now, will there be a home ice advantage at Nissan Stadium? Since it's the first hockey game ever played there, I think I'm safe in saying no. They might be accustomed to it, might get great support from the fans, and likely will. But home ice advantage is all going to be how guys adjust to different situations. And like you say, in that game in Dallas in the Winter Classic 2 years ago, it was I was seated right next to the ice. It was about 53 degrees there. We thought it was a bit risky being down there because there was that ever-present threat of rain, but it worked out well, as the Predators took a 2-0 lead, but they ended up losing the game 4-2. And that was the game where Ryan Ellis got concussed early in the game, and Corey Perry became public enemy number 1.
Number 1. Oh, we were all angry that day. There's no question.
You know who he plays for now, though, right?
Do not.
The Tampa Bay Lightning.
Oh no!
So I'm sure he's going to get a very warm reception from Predators fans at Nissan Stadium.
Wow, that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah, well, hopefully it's just unfortunate for him.
Yes,
there you go.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if the electronic billboards that I see so often driving in to work might have some mention of that. And perhaps I'm being a bit of a rabble rouser here, hoping to inspire somebody to do that.
You should be. We hope you are.
Yeah, hopefully someone will pick up on that. That would be great. Pete Weber, voice of the Nashville Predators, with us here on Main Street Sports today. Pete, besides Corey Perry being a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning, what else do we need to know about these next couple of games?
Well, I'd say number one, Dallas has played very, very well coming into this game here tonight. So this is going to be no excuse me. The Predators know that's going to be a huge, huge task here this evening. And with Tampa Bay, basically all you have to say is 2-time defending Cup champs. and how well they have been playing the last number of seasons. As a matter of fact, they had the best record in the league 3 years ago and then got upset in the opening round by the Columbus Blue Jackets. Matter of fact, they were up 3-1 in game one and ended up getting swept in that series. So anything can happen in this game, absolutely anything. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this plays out here in Nashville. And I'm going to add a little bit to the story for you. A few years ago, when the Bristol Motor Speedway passed from deceased husband to wife, the wife expressed interest in hosting a hockey game over there. Who knows? That still might happen. And imagine the crowd that could be happening over there.
Hockey and stock car racing.
Yes. And with the collisions and the speed involved, Mo, that's not that far-fetched, I don't think.
Makes sense to me.
It does. It does. That's an interesting mix there.
Hey, Pete, before we let you go, I have to ask because, well, it's probably the biggest random story of the day involving the Predators outside of Pekka is, were you surprised to read Andy Strickland's tweet that the Preds were actively shopping Philip Forsberg?
I was surprised to see the word actively because I think general managers, shall we say, imply that everybody is available and ready for a big offer. But I think that I talked with David yesterday. I think he feels confident he can get the signing done, but he's open to offers. You might as well be when you have a property that valuable, and that is he could bring a pretty good return, I do believe.
When's the deadline, Pete?
21st of March. Yeah, so still got time. And let me tell you too about Philip Forsberg and me. 3 weeks ago, we were in Arizona. I got tested positive for COVID. And I thought, oh no, I'm going to have to drive back to Nashville from Glendale, Arizona. Fortunately enough for me, that same day, Philip Forsberg was tested positive. So they sent a jet out to fetch us and bring us back home.
I think Philip should be thanking you, Pete.
Oh, no. I was very thankful. And the worst that both of us had was like cold-like symptoms. So we're flying back here to Nashville with Jacob Hartsfeld, our pregame show producer, who also had tested positive. And we're going, all we have is like sniffles. We all could have done our job last night. But with the current protocol, not to be.
No doubt. Pete, thank you, man. We appreciate it as always.
I hope you get to hold on to your headphones and your microphone there.
He's having a tough time with the microphone, I can tell. Pete Weber, voice of the Nashville Predator, is with us here on Main Street Sports today. Pete, we appreciate you. And when we come back, we're going to get into some MLB logos right in Chris's wheelhouse. Stay with us.
Sir.
Make sure you do the old expos.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org, or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Keep your home as comfortable as possible. If you have any issues with your air conditioner, electrical, or plumbing systems, call Lee Company. Our techs use visual findings and other technology tools to add transparency and clarity. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on the roof. We're here 24/7, so if you need us, call us. Lee Company. Call 931-548-4448 today or schedule your appointment at leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Hey, welcome back in. It is Main Street Sports today. And it is a throwback Thursday here as we get you ready for the weekend of sports. A lot going on this weekend. Again, we'll be live on location tomorrow at the Ag Expo Center in Williamson County. Mo's heading out to see some wrestling this afternoon, and we will then be there again tomorrow on location. Should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. Stop by, please, and thank you. So, anyway, Mo, what's going on? Does anybody else hear that? It sounds like
hang on a minute.
Water's running.
Hang on a minute.
It's fine if it is. So we've got. I was like, what is?
He's got a heater on.
Oh well, that was fine. I just well, we all know Mo. We all know that Mo does get a little chilly, and that's okay. I didn't know what it was. I was just making sure it wasn't me.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry about that. I forgot.
You should have Mo can stand the heat, so maybe they should have hired him at Grambling. Sorry.
Anyway.
Hey, Mo, I had to tell you this before we get into, and this is kind of high school related here in Middle Tennessee. The Class 6A state semifinals in Alabama, Class 6A now, will feature the Coleman Bearcats. And the reason that makes a difference here is I just want y'all to know that Beach beat Coleman by 40.
40?
40.
And
that team is in the state finals.
State finals?
Well, they call it the finals. They can't call it Final Four, but that's it is the state semifinals, but it's at the finals.
Okay.
So anyway, they're in the Final Four of Alabama's Class 6A, which is it is not the top, but it's. I mean, that's crazy.
So
how
Alabama has 7 classes for everything.
They have 7 classes for everything, and the 7th class only has 32 teams in it.
Okay.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
But they also don't separate private schools either. So that also makes a difference.
Okay.
So there's that. Anyway, I just thought that was, I just thought, my gosh, this Beach team is incredible.
Apparently.
I mean, how good are they if they're beating a 6A Final Four team from Alabama, which I know Alabama basketball, whatever, but by 40? Oof.
40 is a lot.
40 is a lot.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm kind of scared. I hope whoever comes out of that region 6 is prepared.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's all you can say. Yeah.
No question. I was scrolling through Twitter and I found this, and JP has it available to us. The Logos from Major League Baseball's 1980s era, to me, is there a better era? I mean, here are my favorites. All right. The White Sox are among my favorites. Obviously, the Brewers, they finally went back to it. The Mariners, I absolutely love. The Braves, I like it better. And really, I mean, the Astros is really cool to me. The only one that's probably worse is Texas, I guess.
You don't like the quarter ton hat?
I think the Texas logo for the time is pretty cool. And I mean the 10-gallon hat just says it all. I think I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But to me, everything falls in line behind the ball and glove, the MB there of the Milwaukee Brewers. I just think that's a fantastic logo.
Well, we've had the top 5 logos, and that was both of our number ones, I believe. Because it really is. Now, the Angels logo, the one I remember from that era was the A with the halo.
With the halo. Mm-hmm.
And then when they were California, it was the CA, which was by far their best.
Which a certain local school later lifted.
Yeah, well, that happens quite often. I love the Detroit logo here. The cartoon tiger head to me is really, really cool. Much better than just a plain D. But
you don't like the old script D?
I mean, it's fine, but I think this one's better. I don't know. I mean, I understand that's kind of how baseball works, is letters make great logos because they got to go on caps.
Yeah. I like the Mariners, the upside down trident deal there. I think that's kind of cool.
I don't know why you go away from that.
Yeah, that one's kind of been lost, at least in my mind. I did not remember that Mariners logo.
Oh yeah.
And it's phenomenal.
Yeah. For me, the one that really speaks to this era is the Expos.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sure many baseball parks still have this, but get those mini helmets with ice cream, soft serve ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
The Expos helmet was the one I always wanted. And my first T-ball team, I was on the Expos. So the first baseball T-ball that I ever played on team was called the Expos. So maybe
you played T-ball?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I sure did.
So both my brothers, the 2 teams that they played on in Little League were the Dodgers and the Cardinals, and I just couldn't take it.
And by the way, Mo, we kept score in our T-ball.
Well, good. I'm glad.
Yeah, we kept score.
JP, when
we had winners and losers.
We played Dizzy Dean, and my dad will remember this story. We were in the district tournament, or I think it was a district tournament, and we were in T-ball now, 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah.
And the 9th batter comes up, and you run to home plate, and you hold the ball up, and that's how you end the inning, right? Well, most teams, that's how the innings ended. We were pretty good, and we could throw it to first and get people out. Well, in the middle of one of the games, the guy looks at my dad who's keeping book and says, "Oh, y'all get people out." And my dad's like, "Isn't that the point?" I mean, we were a pretty good T-ball team. I mean, we went to the state tournament. So, but I just thought that was funny.
Wait, stop.
Tournament T-ball.
Oh yeah, in Dizzy Dean, you go all the way to the World Series in T-ball.
In T-ball.
Oh yeah, because we were good. We kept score too. We could get people out,
and you could get people out. Yeah,
which that's all you really had to do in T-ball was get people out because the other teams couldn't. Oh man. Anyway, we didn't have the major league teams though. We were just Dora or East Walker or whatever. So anyway, bring back the Trident logo. That's all I'm saying.
There we go.
Just bring it back.
I like it.
And then bring yourself back tomorrow as we are live on location at the Ag Center. Come by and say hello if you're going to be there. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, don't come by if you're not ready to sit down though.
Right.
You might throw some headphones on you.
Yeah, exactly.
know
Don't be like Pecorine and
Be ready to talk.
Yeah, go ahead and be ready to talk. So. All right, y'all come back tomorrow. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it on Main Street Sports Today. For JP and Mo, I'm Chris. Y'all saying have a great day.